Where am I going? Okay, let's see what this baby can do. Yep. Do you want another one? I'll give you another one. Winds, obey my command. The build looks so cool that I started role playing. Shame on me. When the arbiter of ash meets the arbiter of wind. Whoa, already? Jesus Christ. I almost died like 3 times. That's how good I am at this game. You guys want to see a map as well? I'll show you a map. Oh, another beach. Another beach. You guys probably don't hear my PC right now, but it's crying. The fans sound sound like a Formula One car. The price of playing Twisters, baby. I barely seen the boss. Now, I do not like giving people false hope, so I will answer some questions right away that you might have. Is this a good build? Yeah, it's alright. Is it the best build? Probably not. Is it doable? Hardly, because it costs a lot. Is it doable in 0.5? Probably not, because it has a lot of legacy items. What else? Is it going to kill your GPU and CPU? Probably, yeah. And I believe that's it, right? Do you have any other questions? Yeah, that's what I thought. No, so let's move on. Let me start with the stats first. So obviously I'm a level 97 Deadeye. I went with a Deadeye because I had a Deadeye. But also it happens to be one of the best ascendancies for Twisters. We have a bunch of attributes, of course, but not nearly as much as I would hope to have. We are quite squishy. If you look at our defenses, we we don't have a lot of energy shield, we don't have a lot of evasion, we don't have block, we barely have any armor, and our life is alright, kind of okay. We have a bunch of spirit. What else? We are almost capped on all our resistances. The chaos resistance is the only one that could be just a little bit better, but I would argue that that's okay, right? What else? What else? Our movement speed is non-existent, but we move with our attacks, as you can see. And our rarity is at 222%. I drank some coffee and it went the wrong way. I'm dying. Anyways, let's start with the gear. So for our weapon, we are using a sky sliver for the attack speed that it provides. As you can see, we are pretty fast. And then in our weapon set number 2, we are using a legacy tangle tongue for the critical hit chance. Because when it comes to damage, this weapon leaves a lot to desire. When it comes to upgrades, this could have of course 3 sockets and the attack speed corruption, which would allow you to socket in 1 more skill speed rune, which would be better of course. For the helmet, we are of course going with the Vertex, a pretty expensive Vertex. We are using it for the increased attributes and the +4 to all skills lines. Although it could be much better, it could have 3 sockets and it could have critical hit chance as well. For the body armor, we are of course going with a Legacy Warrior Invictus for the increased attributes, which I double corrupted as well, and I got a chaos resistance on top of that, which is great. So this body armor is already very close to best in slot for me. Now for the gloves, we are of course going with the Legacy Hoa for the attack speed and the lightning damage that they provide. And those gloves are already close to best in slot. The only thing that you could do is to twice corrupt them and hopefully hit something like +1 to maximum frenzy charges. But that wouldn't do like a massive difference for you, and it would be very expensive as well, since those gloves cost like 1 mirror. So unless you have something like 20 to 30 mirrors already, I wouldn't recommend doing that. Now, one of the gear pieces that I am most happy with is of course the amulet and Astramentis for all the attributes that it provides us with. And this particular Astramentis has really good corruptions. As you can see, I am very happy with it. In my opinion, it is very close to best in slot. The attributes rolls could be just tiny bit better of course, but other than that it is perfect. I managed to snipe this one from the market for about 4,000 divines like 2 months ago, and ever since I bought it I kept an eye out just to see if another one pops out, and it didn't. So as far as I'm concerned, this could be a one of a kind. I don't think so, but you never know. So yes, really good purchase in my opinion. Now probably one of my most expensive items, if not the most expensive, is the Palm of the Dreamer Shrine Scepter, which not only it has 2 sockets, but it also has an increased spirit corruption on top of that, which is very rare. If you don't know how to get a Palm of the Dreamer, you should Google it, because it isn't easy. Now, the only other Palm of the Dreamer like this that I have seen on the market was priced at 30 mirrors, which is insane. Of course, I don't believe that it is worth that much, but nevertheless, it is very expensive. Now for the ring, we are of course using a Legacy Breach Ring with really good rolls, tier 1s across the board, with flat damage, rarity, and attributes. Now of course, I would exchange that strength for dexterity or intelligence, but nevertheless, it is a very powerful item. I liked it so much that I even used a Hinekora's lock on it, and I tried to corrupt it and sanctify it, but yeah, I didn't get anything good. But it is what it is. When you gamble, you have to be ready to lose sometimes, right? Now, not all of my items are very expensive. I forgot to mention it earlier, but this spear is very cheap, and those boots are very cheap as well. They should be around 100 divines probably when I last checked. We are only using them for the shocked ground effect, because we need that for our twisters to increase our damage. But if you want to replace those boots, you can use ice tipped arrows instead. Also worth saying that you would of course look for a better second corruption if you want to use them. something like a elemental resistance. Now for the belt, I am using a legacy ingenuity, of course, which boosts the bonuses we get from our rings. So if your ring is extremely good, your ingenuity will do a lot for you. As you can see, I'm using a pretty cheap ingenuity. I have double corrupted a few of those if you follow my shorts. At some point I was ready to buy a 97% ingenuity, which at that time was priced at 5 mirrors, but after they merged the servers, the same 97% ingenuity now costs 40 mirrors, which is very interesting, to say it like that, right? Good luck selling that. So yes, this is all right. It could be much better, but it is all right. And lastly, we are using a Allrat's Resolve. We are using a Legacy Melting Maelstrom, and we are using the Rite of Passage with the Spirit of the Stag, and we are using a Dawing charm. I don't know how to pronounce that. Dawing. I prefer Dawing. So yes, that's it for the gear. Now let's talk about the skills. The skills setup is not a original creation. I have copied like 90% of it from someone named Travic on YouTube. I will link his video in the description afterwards. This is not my first time getting inspired by one of his videos. The guy is an amazing content creator. You should definitely give him a watch if you like twisters in general. He has at least 5 videos on twisters. But yeah, let's start. Cold shots. We are using cold shots from, this comes from our ascendancy. We are using it to apply sniper mark around us. Impurity, this comes from the Palm of the Dreamer Shrine Scepter. Twisters is our main damage skill. Twisters with 332,000 damage. Whirling Slash is our movement skill. Barrage for some more damage and twisters. If our Herald of Thunder and Herald of Ice setup looks weird, that's because we are doing everything that we can to freeze and electrocute as much as we can, because that's what gives us frenzy charges. Combat Frenzy. Now those two skills are replaceable, slash you can just not use them if you don't have the spirit. I only use them because I have a lot of spirit and I wanted something that gives me more damage. But yeah, they honestly don't do that much for me. And Wind Dancer for a bit more extra defenses. I could have gone Berserk since I'm using Eternal Rage, but yeah, I decided to go with Wind Dancer. Now let's talk about the skills tree. Like I said, I am a Deadeye because it is a really strong ascendancy for twisters in general because of cold shots and because of those two ascendancy nodes, which help with our frenzy charges. And then I took Gathering Winds for Tailwind, which is just really powerful in general. The skills tree overall is nothing new in my opinion. We are taking a bunch of crit nodes as always. We are taking a few defensive nodes, although they do not do much for us, to be fair. And then I tried to split the skills tree in two parts. Like one part was oriented towards twisters and the other part was oriented towards stat stacking. I took those three nodes for my twisters. They are very important. And then this fourth one is really not that important. I only took it because it was in range of my Against the Darkness. But you can definitely skip taking it. Same thing with those nodes here. I only took them because they were in range of my Against the Darkness. But you can definitely skip taking them if you want to take something else instead, right? And then for my stat stacker, I took Winter Owl, which gives me more accuracy and evasion. I took Falcon Dive, which gives me more attack speed. Sadly, this is capped at 20%. I have a really good Megalomaniac. this megalomaniac cost me like, I believe it was 2 meters, very expensive but really powerful as well. It gives us Falcon technique, which gives me even more attack speed, and brute strength, which gives me even more increased damage. So this megalomaniac is perfect for stat stacking. And then I took part of this star shaped here because of the increased attributes, and I tried to, of course, maximize our jewel sockets because I have pretty good jewels in general. Yes, so that's it for the video. Personally, I had a lot of fun putting it together, and I will definitely play it again at the end of the next league. So if you would like to see future updates, stay tuned. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and see you next time. Bye.